What's up, everybody? It's your boy Brandon Blakeney, aka Brandon Lee TV, back at it again with episode number 27 of the Dukes of the Gridiron podcast. Got my god Nick Cousin, not your uncle, back with me again. Nick, what's up, my guy?
Now, two of those 28 are now with me now. So I guess I'm a recurring a guest now, huh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know, we have to get you on anytime Iowa is mentioned. Got to get you on, man, because I know you in the middle of all the action, taking it all in as it goes through. And I know before we hopped on, we were kind of talking about All-Star Weekend. And, I watched the game last night. This is probably the first time I've watched like everything since it was in Charlotte a few years back. But looking at it, man, I think they did a pretty good job of revamping it a little bit, getting creative. I definitely enjoyed the 3-point shootout.
The 3-point shootout was good. The way that Steph and Sabrina did their thing, where Sabrina's hitting from the men's 3-point line, and she
Yeah.
literally had to set the tone for Steph. Like Steph was struggling early on,
Yep.
but and she hit those first two racks. She didn't miss a ball. I was like, dang, she coming out ready to go. I was like, damn, all right, all right, all right. But
Yo.
that was
Yeah.
good. And then and then obviously good for the women's game again. Just more great, traction publicity towards the women's game as well. And next year, Caitlin Clark, maybe we can put her in there.
Ooh, man, I know there was a lot of talk about that. And shout out Sabrina, man. She did a heck of a job, put up 26, which would have advanced her even in the men's competition. She shot as good as Dame Lillard and Kat and Trey Young in that first one. She's shooting over 44% last season from the three. A lot of open looks because of Stewie down there, man. She's demanding a lot of attention. But Caitlin Clark was the name, man, that we kept hearing that people wanted to see. I mean, I was thinking about it. It's like, the game is in Indy. She could be in Indy this upcoming year, this upcoming season playing. We could have got a taste of what Indiana and Caitlin Clark looks like, man, early. So I definitely get like the intrigue there. She's shooting 39.9% from three. I looked. And Sabrina, her senior year, shot 39.2. So Caitlin's shooting more threes and at a higher clip.
And you look at the record-setting night, the last game she played, she had 9 threes in the game, and the record-breaking bucket was a logo three. Like, I mean,
Yeah, from the logo.
you don't need to argue how great of a shooter or even 3-point shooter that, and the range and the perimeter shooting. I
Mhm.
mean, that's Caitlin Clark's bread and butter right there.
Looking at like how Sabrina did and how you think Caitlin Clark could have done, do you think she would have had a better chance against Steph, or do you even think she would have outshot Sabrina Ionescu?
I think it depends. Like if you were doing Caitlin Clark, I think they should do like logo threes. Put it back, put those racks back, and just let's see the ability there because you already know Steph can hit from right anywhere. Caitlin's proven she can hit from anywhere. Let's have them have like a logo 3-point contest, and I think Caitlin wins that one for sure if you're doing logo threes because she got unbelievable range.
Yeah, limitless range, man. I know something I heard that I thought was interesting. Reggie Miller said was that he's one of the greatest shooters ever too in his generation and period in the NBA. But he was talking about there should be a 2v2 contest next year where they pit Steph Curry and Dame Lillard, who won the 3-point shootout, versus Sabrina and Caitlin Clark, a little 2-on-2 action next year.
Oh man, that would be I would definitely tune in to watch that. That would be electric right there.
Yeah, man. No, I would be stoked to see that. I think a competition like that, where you talk about Clark, who can just heat up in a hurry, like you mentioned, breaking the record. She's only player in the history of college women's basketball right now that's top five in a or top 10 in assist and scoring the basketball. You were there, you're taking it in down there or up there in Iowa. Seeing her break that record, packed house. I know the city was buzzing, man. And you mentioned 9 3-pointers. She broke the record just minutes into the first quarter.
She only needed 8 points. She scored the first 8 points. Like
Unreal.
I mean,
Unreal.
and I mean, head coach Lisa Bluter was talking about like everyone was asking her like, "Oh, what are you gonna do when Caitlin gets the record?" It was a little bit of an eerie feeling, I must say, after the Nebraska loss.
Mhm.
Caitlin having she went 0 for 6 in the fourth quarter, and
Yeah.
all she needed was those 8 points. And then she can't deliver the shots in the end, just taking a lot of early shots in the shot clock, not
Mhm.
letting the clock wind down when you have a 14-point lead. Just kind of some offensive struggles there, just overall for the team, just with clock management and taking
Yeah.
better shots, holding on to the ball, time management situations.
Mhm.
And then so you're and then Caitlin's missing shots she should make. Everyone's like, oh man, like this team's tired, fatigued, kind of an eerie feeling like, oh man, like this is the wrong time to be
Sheesh.
playing this way. We're in
Right.
February, only 5, 6 more games till
Yup.
the March Madness. So but then she comes out against Michigan, scores the first 8 points. Everyone's like, all right, she did it right away. And
Mhm.
then after, like they really celebrate. I mean, in the moment, Lisa Bluter called a timeout. Their head
Okay.
coach, she called a timeout. There was like a small moment with like Kate Martin, who her best friend on the team is. They hugged. The rest of the team came and hugged her, and then they went right back to the timeout because the game was going on. But after
Mhm.
the game, they had this big ceremony. People that were close to her made this video that she didn't know about that went on the jumbotron
Mhm.
after the game, and
Dope.
she was getting emotional. Like you don't usually see Caitlin Clark getting emotional. She's so humble, calm, in all the big moments. You can never see any emotion really come from her. She's very good at she's staying very reserved and calm and
Mhm.
everything. But she kind of let it go, man. She let the emotions out. She said even after she didn't want to cry, but then like she saw all the people that were out part of her journey, like her mom, her dad started off the video, her two brothers,
Mhm.
just people that were really close to her high school coach, like people that have really helped her over the years. And she
Yeah.
started getting emotional about that. And nobody expected that. So you also saw, the human side of her. You see how great of an athlete she is, how athletic she is. I
Mhm.
mean, and how exciting she is to watch. But you kind of saw the human element there, and you kind of saw how much she really does care, and the people around her and her teammates and everybody, how they all really care for her too.
Man, that's awesome seeing that part of it that you don't get to see on TV. Something that you mentioned kind of stuck out to me, and I made a previous video on my channel about when they lost that Iowa game, number 2 team in the country, or losing to Nebraska on the road, number 2 at the time in the nation. A lot of pressure on Clark to break that record. Do you feel like it was kind of a distraction during that game, or just at any point during this run?
I don't know if it was a distraction, but I definitely felt that it maybe impacted how she played the end of that game, just because some of the shots she was taking were, I mean, she can hit threes, but
Mhm.
she was getting contested. There was contested looks a lot of the times, and like I said, they had a huge lead, and they weren't really holding on to the ball. They were taking quick shots, like
Mhm.
20 seconds on the shot clock, 25 seconds on the shot clock, when you can take it down to 10, 5, and then just throw up shots. But they're just throwing up shots real early. And I just think that just kind of affected it towards the end. You're trying to, stay perfect in conference because at that point they were tied with Ohio State. So I
Mhm.
think it's had like the pressure of just trying to stay, you know, in the moment, and how it's like a road game and how well Caitlin Clark's played against Nebraska. I mean, she's over the years she's owned Nebraska. She might as well, call a state hers. But so I think there's just like all these multiple factors, not just the record, but the fact that just kind of like the team expectations of the moment, trying to not get upset, just trying to, win a tough road game because pretty much anywhere in the Big Ten, men or women, is just
Yeah.
impossible to win a game. So I just think it was a lot of the pressure, not just of her getting the moment, but the team as well, just trying to finish out a tough game. And there was like, and you might have saw on TikTok and some other things, the team was really frustrated after that loss.
Mhm.
There was like a video out there about Lisa Bluter getting upset that
Oh
Nebraska
yeah, that
that
hot mic. I seen
that
that.
Nebraska went first in the press conference, and she's like, "We're trying to catch a flight."
Yeah.
There was just like a lot of frustration and from a bad loss that shouldn't have been a loss when you have a lead that big. And I mean, you got 5 games left now. You just like learn from that. And you saw the next game, like they just came out and they were like, whatever, like, and especially Kaylin dropping a career high. I mean, she didn't stop at the record. She went for a career high after that. and no one even scored 49 points in Iowa's history in that arena. So now she has that record. And think about the 2 games before that, Hannah Stelke had the record. So you got
Yeah.
two girls on the same team who have the records for the highest scoring games in Iowa history.
Man, that's definitely special. And I know Hannah Stokes had a pretty good year, but that game definitely she was on another level, getting 40 plus. Seeing it now, like you said, they bounce back strong. They blow out Michigan at home. Do you feel like one was it better that she got to break the record at home? Was it a cooler experience? And do you feel like now they can play a little bit more free heading into the Big Ten tournament?
Oh, definitely. I think it's big monkey off the back. I mean, I know she didn't really talk about, the record like when it was getting closer and closer. I mean, she usually doesn't even know about her records. I was telling you last time we talked, she doesn't really
Yeah,
know. But obviously, the points one, it's out there. You're not gonna not know that you're breaking the all-time scoring
right.
record, and you have people, tweeting at you like the player you're gonna, you know, even pass Kelsey Plum. She
Yeah.
even texted it out the night of the Nebraska game, thinking she did get the record.
Yeah.
But then she was like, "Oh wait, no, she needs 8. She needs 8."
Yeah,
And so then she
next
waited.
game.
So then Kelsey like tweeted it out. Oh, sorry, my bad. Like,
Yeah, I remember that.
yeah. So then, but so as obviously, so you can't put the scoring record behind you. But I think definitely was like to get it at home. The fans saw the record be broken. Like, obviously, if she did it in Nebraska, the next home game they would honor her in some way. But
Mhm.
those fans wouldn't have that connection.
Right.
Like, the fans in that arena sell out. There was plenty, celebrities like Ashton Kutcher was there, like because he's from Iowa. Just
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I like Ashton.
like random celebrities were there, but that whole crowd got to share in that moment with her.
Yeah.
And so then after the game to have that ceremony and everything, you're kind of like, wow, like this is like I'm part of her night, man. Like if
Right.
she broke the record and then they honor her the next home game, no one really has that, like attachment to the night really.
True.
So she gave that attachment to everybody there and everybody watching too, just the way that she did. I mean, even watching it back on TV like I did, it was just like like whoever was watching, even if you were in the arena, you felt attached to that moment.
Most definitely. It's something else like a topic I've talked about just because she has etched her name in that same conversation with the greats of the game, and she still possibly can get that Pistol Pete record too. Looking at like the GOAT conversations, everybody brings up like Cheryl Miller, Maya Moore, Brittany Griner, some of the GOATs, Candace Parker that have come through and been great college players, Brianna Stewart as well. Do you think Caitlin deserves to be in the same breath as some of these players? I know a lot of people feel like she's playing with less talent, and she probably is more so than, some of these teams with all these McDonald's All-Americans and five-star recruits and multiple draft picks. Caitlin's doing it with a bunch of girls from Iowa for the most part. Seeing that, she gets the scoring record, they've won the Big Ten title, have a chance at the national title. Like, she took them one year. Do you think she's earned that right to be mentioned with some of those players?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I've not gone pro yet, so we don't know how much more she can develop her game when she plays even the better with better teammates who are in the best league in the world and
Mm-hmm.
play against the best in the world as well too. Obviously, we don't know where that is yet, where that development is yet, because we haven't reached that part yet. But if you
Right.
just look at what she's done in college, I mean, how can you not? I mean, she's scored the most points now, and she has, I don't even know, long, long list of other records she's already broken.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Big Ten, she's the best player ever because she passed Kelsey Mitchell's record, who was the standing best Big Ten player of all time, I mean, based on the stats.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, in college, other than I mean, she went to the national championship game last year, the Final Four.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, what else? I mean, what else does she have to prove to not be mentioned in that greatest of all time?
Absolutely, man. I think I'm right there with you. And if even if you don't feel like she's the GOAT, I think we can confidently say she's the best scorer of all time. I mean, the numbers don't lie
Oh no, you
there.
even mentioned earlier, almost 40% from three. She leads the country in scoring. She leads the country in assists, so she doesn't just score. She does it all, man. Like, and
Yeah.
she's second on the team in rebounds. Like, she does
Nuts.
it all, man. She's not just a shooter, man. Not just a shooter.
No, most definitely, man. I think you're just a fan of watching her, how efficient she is. Seems like no matter what, her usage goes up and the numbers are still there. The recent bracketology rankings came out. Iowa got bumped up to a 1 seed.
I saw that, man. I was a little surprised by that based off of how, after that Nebraska loss, that I thought that might have bumped them down to a 2 for now.
Mm-hmm.
But you have they you know Iowa still has Ohio State left on the schedule. That's the final game of the regular season.
Yeah.
I, Ohio State has leading the Big Ten right now, and they're going to be a 1 seed if the season ends today. So Iowa still has a chance if you beat Ohio State, probably, and then beat them again in the Big Ten championship game.
Yeah.
There's no doubt you're number 1 seed. But I think that the loss to Ohio State and the loss to Nebraska should have them as the top 2 seed right now. I
It
feel like
seems
that's
like,
probably the
yeah.
top.
It seems like that matchup with Ohio State is definitely going to decide a lot of things for them moving forward in the Big Ten.
Oh, and for that to be the last game of the regular season,
Yeah.
talk about excitement. I bet that one goes on national TV and beats all the ratings that Caitlin Clark's already beaten being on national TV. And the last time they played in Columbus, the one that went to overtime, where
Yeah.
Cody McMahon just took over.
Dude, she was
Yeah.
hooping, bro.
In that overtime, she had 8 of the 16 points. I mean, half the points in the overtime. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, she took over. But yeah, so to have that game be the last game of the regular season, it's in Iowa City this time. I mean, and also, I mean, well, we're not even talking about this. By then, Caitlin Clark all time, she could be passing Pistol Pete by then. She
Sheesh.
only needs 97 now.
Oh yeah. I mean that by her standards, that's 3 games. Like,
Yeah,
what I'm
that's what I'm
saying?
saying.
The way
So
she's going.
yeah. So if
No,
she doesn't get it in 3, she gets it in 4 or 5. We're talking the Ohio State game. So
man.
no.
Yeah, I know, man. Ohio State's been reeling in some big wins over the last couple weeks as well, man. I love JC Sheldon on their squad. Like you mentioned, Cody's a monster. Had a really
Oh,
good
she a
game
shooter.
that first time.
She a
Yeah.
shooter.
I mean, man, Hannah Stokey's gonna have to put her big girl pants on and shut that down, or just try to contain it somehow.
And it would be a good practice in case Iowa does get back to the national championship game and has to go up against Cardoso, because very
Yeah.
similar style of play right there. Just get it down low, get a lot of paint points, and then that opens up the perimeter as well to make threes. A beautiful, beautiful basketball. But so yeah, I mean, man, this is gonna be a great end to these next couple games, man.
Yeah, man, I'm excited. And I know, like you mentioned, how Hannah Stolke, had that huge game, best game of her career by far. She's been having a good year, especially as a sophomore, being like the number one big for them. But like, do you feel like her confidence changed at all after that game? Like, could we see maybe not performances to that magnitude, but like when Caitlin needs that Robin to her Batman, whether it's her or Molly Davis, like, is there a different level of confidence there after a performance like that?
When you have Caitlin Clark as your teammate, I don't think I mean, I think it's very, very easy to just think you're going to have a good game any single time. And Caitlin even said that after the game. She said, you dropped a career high. No one's ever had this many points here at Iowa. And she's like, but I knew you could do that. Like
Okay.
Caitlin Clark said that to Hannah Stelke. If I'm Hannah Stelke and one of the best players, probably going to be the best player when it's all said and done,
Yeah.
20, 30 years from now, saying that to you,
Major.
like, I want you to do it every night. You can do it every night. Like, how much confidence does that give you? Like, and you've scored more than her now. Like in the
Yeah.
arena, in the same arena, you're like, I've scored more than Caitlin Clark. I got I got something on you. Even though Caitlin already broke it a couple games later, but
Yeah.
still the fact that Caitlin saying that to her and it's such a great teammate as well. How could you just not have that confidence going in? I mean, and she's been the second leading scorer all year behind Caitlin.
Mhm.
Caitlin just found unbelievable vision to just off the rebound.
Yeah, that transition. Oh
Just
man.
Stelky just already like on the run, and Kalen just puts it right in like this best spot you could put it. Easy lane on the other end. Like,
Yeah, nah, court vision, basketball IQ is insane, man. And I know there's going to be a lot of eyes on them as they close out the season, especially looking ahead to that final game that's probably going to decide the Big Ten versus Ohio State. So we'll definitely be locked in for that. Nick, let them know where to find you at on social media, my guy, before we get out of here.
all right, man. It's NCOUZ. So just at NCOUZ, and it's just NCuz. That's been the brand that I've had for forever, man. Because everybody calls me, cousins, It's like, no, it's with a Z, not an S. So I'm always NCuz because I have to be with a Z.
Yes, sir.
I'm not related to Kirk Cousins. I'm not the NHL player Nick Cousins. I'm Nick Cousins.
Yes, sir. Hey, put the Z on there. Don't say it at all, baby.
Yeah.
Appreciate you hopping on, Nick. That's a wrap for us, man. Until next time, make sure y'all hit that subscribe button for all the latest and the greatest. I am Brandon Blakely. That's my guy, Nick Cousin. Till next time, this is the Dukes of the Gridiron podcast. We out.